Part 1. How often do you see your neighbors? Well, for me, I spend most of my time at universities and stay at home. Therefore, it's pretty rare for me to meet or have a conversation with my neighbors. However, for my younger brothers, he often go outside and play with the kids in my neighborhood. So it could be more frequently for him to meet my neighbors. Do you invite your neighbors to your home? Well, I do not intend to invite my neighbors to my house. However, for my mom, she did it a lot. She does a lot. She does it a lot. She often she often uh, invite her neighbors to the house and gossip with them. Do you think you are a good neighbor? Well, I think it's really weird to have comment on myself, but I would say that I'm a good neighbor because I think that if my neighbors need help and they ask me for help, I would be willing to give them my assistance. Had a neighbor ever help you? Yes, they did. So, sometimes in the past, uh, when and they are so friendly and they agree to help me immediately when I ask them, and I'm really happy about it. Part 2. Describe a very difficult task that you succeeded in doing as a part of your work or studies. Well, if I have to give a description about a very challenging task that I succeeded, the first one that springs to my mind must be the first time that I tried essays at the university. Uh, about about that time, during that time, I was a freshman at university, and writing essays is a really isn't familiar things for me. And my teachers in the philosophy subject hand out a homework to write an essay about any topics that related to the philosophies. I found it really hard. I found it's really hard for me to write to to research for the information and write the essay because because philosophy isn't because philosophy is a difficult subject to learn and study about. However, I however I have get the assistance from my classmate a lot. Um, they help me to search for they help me to research for the information uh, and help me to improve my essay a lot. And as a result, my essay get a really great bond, get a really great a grade. I think that hadn't helped me at first, if they hadn't had, I think that if my friend hadn't helped me at first place, my essay would have been really terrible, and I feel really grateful to have a and I feel really grateful to have friendly classmates who are willing to help me in the really challenging situation. What are the most difficult jobs that people battery? What are the most difficult jobs that people do? Well, I believe that the blue collar jobs often considered as the difficult ones. However, I believe that the white collar jobs, which is related to to papers and documents. However, I believe that both blue collar jobs and white collar jobs is difficult, uh, is as much as difficult. But three, what are the most difficult jobs that people do? Well, well, uh, there is an assertion that blue collar jobs. Well, I believe that blue collar jobs is often considered as the difficult job to do. However, I believe that blue collar jobs is also as difficult as the white collar jobs. For the blue collar jobs, it's often required strength. Therefore, you have to have Therefore, you have to have a robust body and endurance, and this job is really exhausting to do. However, however, for the white collar job, which often related to paper and documents and numbers, is also need the careful. It's also required the employees to be really careful and dedicated to what they are doing, so that they could not make any mistake. What do you so therefore, hence I believe that both of these jobs are difficult. Why did you think some people choose to do difficult jobs? Well, I believe that people are I believe that people don't choose to do the difficult jobs because they want to. Just because they want to. I think the reason that the people choose to do these jobs is that they are in the situation where they have to bring home the bacon. For example, like they are the breadwinners, and they have families to, and they have families. Therefore, and then they have a families. Therefore, they have to do. Uh, Therefore, in the situation where they don't have much choice, they would have to choose the difficult ones, as long as it could help them to earn the money for the family. Do you agree or disagree that our jobs are difficult sometimes? I totally agree that our jobs is difficult. Most of people would believe that only most of people would believe that job that require strength is more difficult than jobs that related uh, to office. However, however, I believe that it's a wrong idea, because every job has its challenging have, have its own requires and challenging tasks. You you cannot ask people who do job required to strength to do the job that required to numbers. Therefore, and on the opposite. Therefore, there hence I believe that our job has its difficulties. How important is it for everyone to have a goal in their personal life? Well, it's extremely crucial for every single person in to have a a goal in their personal life, because a could goals could be the compass that lead us to the successful. If that leads us to the success, if a person, if an individual do not have any goals for their life, they may get lost on their path and get distracted easily by other factors, which is not which is not good in order to develop themselves and their career. Therefore, so setting a goal or setting a goal is the first and the most important part in order to get an achievement in a personal life. Is it always necessary to work hard in order to achieve career success? Well, I think hard working is one of the most important characteristics in order to achieve the career success. Because if we are lazy and if we are lazy, then nothing that could motivate us to work for the goals to work for the goal that we have set. However, the, therefore, hard working is always necessary to work hard in order to achieve career success. Well, I believe that hard working. I believe that hard working is one of the most important factors that motivate us, that drive us to the career success. Because if we are lazy, we could if we are lazy, uh, we could not do our job properly, which would hinder our which could hinder our development, and is it not good for our and is not good for our futures. However, if we are hardworking and this would however if we hardworking, well, we could enhance our career. We could climb faster on our career ladder, which lead to the accomplishment quicker. Therefore, I believe that working hard is really necessary. Do you think that successful people are always happy people? Well, I think it would depend on how we consider it. What is happiness? If we believe that happiness is having is being really wealthy, I is is being is being really wealthy. I believe that is not all. I believe that they are not always the happy people, because they are independent to earn as much as money but that as possible. Therefore, they have no time for relaxation and entertainment. So, which leads to the really serious depression, and people with the anxiety and depressions are not considered as the happy people. However, if we see successful people are the people who are pleased uh, with their life, I then I believe that they are then I believe that they would be the happy one. I would believe that they are the happy individuals, because they are feel because they are satisfied with what they got and do not always uh, force themselves to the limit in order to earn money.